I'm a living, breathing person, human being. For example, McDonald's. McDonald's can't force me to eat their Big Macs. They need my consent. I would like to state for the record that I am not a corporation. I don't choose the contract with the state of Michigan. I don't choose to do business with them in this regard with another business. It seems like a coercion of some sort.
If you wouldn't mind putting your name on the record, please.
I'm the executor and sole beneficiary of the trust and estate of Mr. Kevin Dwayne Craft, the legal persona. I am not here making a general appearance. I'm here by special divine appearance, judge, to settle a matter, to call for a constitutional court of record to ask for a summary judgment upon the truth and facts that I placed upon the record with my documents. I stand firmly on my rights, and I'm here to ask for that summary judgment, please.
Welcome back, everyone. Today's court hearing is completely off the rails. This sovereign citizen is in a league of his own. He seriously thinks yelling, "I don't consent," is an actual legal defense. The guy's in court over child support, and honestly, here's a tip. If you don't want to pay child support, maybe don't become a parent in the first place. He's trying to beat the system with arguments he clearly picked up from YouTube law experts. But newsflash, judges don't take TikTok legal advice. His logic is flimsier than a wet paper receipt. I'm honestly surprised he didn't pull out a scroll mid-hearing and call himself a free man of the land. Do you think people like this should have to pass a basic civics quiz before being allowed to speak in court? Let's roll the clip.
You've asked for.
I do also have a few questions.
I understand you're pro se, and then therefore you get a little bit of leeway, but typically the judges don't answer questions. We're the ones who ask questions. This isn't like a trial court where it's a very kind of back and forth. The Court of Appeals is more structured in terms of the lawyers or parties come up, they make their arguments. The judges may or may not have questions for the person, and then it's submitted, and then we go back and discuss the matter. And then at some point in the future, we come out with an opinion. So it is different in that respect than trial court.
Understood. But I am wondering if this is a court of constitution, and would the Constitution be applied in these proceedings?
The Court of Appeals, the Michigan Court of Appeals, is provided for under the state Constitution of 1963.
Is that a yes?
That's the answer I'm giving you.
Okay. I'm asking to verify to make sure these proceedings are legitimate. The Constitution has two jurisdictions: common law, admiralty law, or maritime tribunal. And I'm asking in which context would this court try to enforce jurisdiction on me?
We're acting under the state Constitution of Michigan of 1963.
Moving forward, I'm here to pretty much address the court's error for ignoring my motions. Notice of dismissal, default judgment under Federal Rule 55 was filed December 12, 2022. Under Federal Rule 55, if a party fails to respond to the defendants themselves, and this is confirmed by my affidavits, and other means, the clerk must officially record a default judgment of that party. I filed several motions and they were ignored. That's why I'm here. In Haynes versus Kirnar, 404 U.S. 519, 1972, courts must be understanding and not easily reject motions from people just representing themselves. And that's what took place in this matter. In Article 1, Section 17 of the Michigan Constitution prevents courts from ignoring motions and guarantees that people have a fair chance to represent themselves in any argument and evidence. That did not happen. That's why we're here. The state ordered me to take a paternity test. And Monell versus Department of Social Services, which is a New York State case. The Supreme Court case established that municipalities' liability under the Section 1983 for constitutional violations in the context of child support cases where the appellant argues that a warrant should be required for me obtaining genetic and biological material. I think it's very sensitive when a state injects an order asking me to give genetic and biological material without a warrant. That's really sensitive material. It's not like a document or anything. That's personal biological material. That's why those specimens were not granted. That's why I deny any consent or any contract with the state or Title 4D agency to give away my biological and genetic material. That the case Monell is relevant because it underscores the importance to ensure that government agencies like the friend of the court on this context, these are for-profit agencies disguised as government agencies like the friend of the court, adhere to constitutional standards where collecting evidence potentially implying the need of procedure safeguards to protect individuals' Fourth Amendment.
People like this really blow my mind. He's working harder to dodge child support than he ever worked at being a dad. Like, bro, you had 9 months to get ready for this, and your master plan is to yell random legal phrases. That's not how any of this works. I actually feel bad for the kid. Imagine finding out your dad tried harder to avoid buying your diapers than to show up for your birthday. And now he's crying about a simple paternity test, the same test that literally protects him from being scammed. It's wild how some people twist it around and act like they're the victims. Sad and embarrassing. Anyway, let's see what happens next.
This is a constitutional court. The asking for genetic material is protected by my Fourth Amendment right. The Fourth Amendment protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures and safeguards one's privacy and assurance that any such search is conducted within the boundaries of legal requirements. I see that they're not here today, and that's some questions that are raised, and those were my concerns. On August 11, 2022, the Kent County ordered an appointment for me for genetic and biological testing. In a testing laboratory, DNA Diagnostic Center is a business, and I can prove it's a business because I have their Dun and Bradstreet numbers. 877